Good morning, families of the West Shore School District, and welcome to the Watchdog Report, the Midnight Edition, where we will be howling out some truths. So today, um, we are going to have a little bit of a different chat. I want to speak to the men in Cumberland County. Now, before some of you start getting on your high horses, okay, about, oh, a woman shouldn't be preaching to a man. I'm not preaching tonight to men. I am speaking to the men and I am bringing certain things back to their memory and reminding them of certain things. So let's continue. So, men, do you really know that you are called by God? We live in a society in which men are constantly ridiculed, put down by women, demeaned. Okay. And it's funny because you celebrate Mother's Day and everybody in the door comes out to celebrate Mother's Day. You find these wonderful cards, in Hallmark and whatever. But when Father's Day comes around, there's very little noise about that. And if you look at the cards are silly cards that the greeting company, make for the fathers, pretty much either making fun of the fathers or putting them down, Very few cards for Father's Day you find that actually honors the father. I mean, there are cards out there that do, okay, but it's very few and in between. I tell you that when I go and prepare for Father's Day and try to find a card for my husband, on behalf of me or the children, I really have to search hard for something that says something very meaningful. And that's because, this society that we live in has been trained not to value our men and hence not to value the fathers. And the society that we live in has actually found ways of silencing the voice of that man, not only culturally speaking, but also in the homes. But man, God has called you to be provider and protector. Now, people, they remember that God called them in to be a provider. Oh, yeah, he better bring that paycheck in, you know what I'm saying? Because we got some bills to pay. But they forget the other side, protector. Do you women out there understand that the husband that God sent to you, okay, is meant not only to love you and provide for you, but to protect you and the family to the point that God will require him to lay down his life for you and your children. And most men that love their wife and love the children have no problem in laying down their lives for their families. And likewise, men, that's one aspect of what God has called you. But do you understand that in protecting your children, it involves a lot of things? And yeah, I know that in today's society, it is kind of scary, okay, for you to do what God has called you to do. But today I'm here, guys, to remind you if God is for us, who can be against us? And you find that in Romans 8:31. So let's have a chat. Let's talk about provider and protector. A role as provider and protector is more than tradition. It is a divine calling rooted in courage, conviction, and clarity of purpose. He must never shrink back from his responsibilities, nor cower in the face of a society's shifting judgment. It's funny. I have seen some, I want to say YouTube and TikToks that the young people, and my sons, they show me of traditional women, okay, that have actually opened up their lives to society. Traditional women that are staying at home, taking care of the house and taking care of the kids, who are being mocked and attacked because how dare you depend on a man? You know what I'm saying? How dare you, rely on only his provisions? And guys, every household dynamic is different. If the wife decides to stay home with the kids and take care of the kids, there's nothing wrong with that. And if that man wants to provide, be the sole provider, there's nothing wrong with that either. So the thing here is that these families and these people in Christianity, especially our men, is facing a lot of judgment from our society, and some of our men have allowed society to silence them. However, a man of God is not called to be silenced. He is summoned to stand, speak, and steward. Romans 8:31 reminds us, if God is for us, who can be against us? That bold assurance anchors that masculine call, not passive existence, but active resistance to the spiritual decay around us. His charge is not only to provide and protect in the physical realm, but to lead, guard, and disciple in the spiritual and cultural realms. Okay, so yes, his job is to lead his family spiritually, but nowadays also culturally. I mean, look at what's happening in our schools, for example. Okay, our kids are being, indoctrinated. There's a fight for the souls of our kids. Our kids and our families have enemies right there, in the school districts, in school administration, in school boards. And, man, God has called you to protect your family. Okay, so to apply these principles, a man must lead his home with prayer, biblical teaching, and moral clarity, engage in his community, attend school board meetings, vote, and mentor young men. And I would even add here run for office, okay, in order to, take those seats from the God mockers, from the God haters. Speak the truth without fear. And in today's culture, I get it. It's scary because we got this cancel culture mentality. But a child of God, a son of God, will speak truth without fear, addressing the cultural confusion with unwavering convictions. He guards his family's heart and minds, being vigilant about media, education, and influence. Because, yes, nowadays, even what our kids see in the media, what they read, okay, and the influences from the outside world, primarily from the schools, we have to be vigilant, especially the father. You're building a family. God gave you a gift. He gave you a family. He gave you a wife. He gave you kids. And it's your job to provide and protect. But protect, that word protect, I mean, it just encircles so many things, guys. Silence in the face of the evil that we're seeing today, okay, keeping silence in the face of this evil is complicity. Whether we want to admit it or not, okay, it is complicity. A child of God is not built to blend in. He is crafted by God to speak out. He must be a lion among lambs, a pillar in the storm, a voice for his family, his church, and his nation. The world may scoff, but heaven applauds the bold. Heaven applauds those who are valiant, who are bold, and who are noble. His purpose, your purpose, to the gentlemen who are hearing me right now, your purpose is not popularity, it is obedience. And obedience demands action. So if you're going to obey the word of God and you're going to obey it to the fullest, that is going to involve action, even if it means running for an office, even if it means shaking up the water in a school board meeting, in a city council meeting. Obedience demands action. There is no more room for passive spectatorship. Men must awaken to their divine assignment, not merely as providers, but as protectors of truths and defenders of their homes. Defenders specifically of their children. It isn't just about protecting your home from the elements. It's about guarding them from the ideologies that seek to dismantle your child's mental and spiritual health, your family, their belief in God, their God ordained identity, and their future. And these are the things that are being attacked in our society, in our culture, and in our schools. And men, this is happening right under your noses. I can't tell you guys how many school board meetings I go to, and it's more women than men. And you know what? I love the mama bears. I love my sisters, okay, my fellow sister warriors. But we need the men. We need the men to come along with us and be in the front lines. We need the men to be in the front line to protect and help us protect these kids. And it is time, guys, that you as fathers, you as taxpayers, you as grandfathers, uncles, and brothers, let your voice be heard. You are not just a man, you are a gatekeeper. As 1 Corinthians 16:13 exhorts, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Your boldness could be the barrier between deception and deliverance. And Lord knows that this society and our schools and our government needs deliverance. And I'm going to say that again. Your boldness could be the barrier between deception and deliverance. Now is the time for your voice to be heard. Now is not the time for silence and cowardice. It is the time for action. Godly men, if you're hearing me, godly men, you must reclaim your voice, reject fear, and rebuild the foundation. Your strength matters. Your leadership is needed. Your silence and your absence have lasted long enough. Your voice matters. Your leadership is needed. As Romans 8:31 declare, if God is for us, who can be against us? This is right here, right now, your permission to be bold. It is time to step out of the shadows and go into your role as a voice in this generation, as a man of God, as a pillar in this society, and reclaim your children, reclaim these schools, reclaim our government, reclaim our nation back for Christ. So, we have enemies. Your children have enemies. And here in the West Shore School District, your children and your family have enemies. And these are the enemies in the West Shore School District. The people that you see on these pictures. These are the enemies. You see, guys, we know who we are. We're neighbors, parents, faith leaders, and friends. We love our children, look out for each other, and believe that every block, every street, and every home should be a place of safety and belonging. But not everyone holds to those values. There are actions and actors that put our families at risk. We see the damage and we are refusing to stay silent. So, men, I need you to join the mama bears. I need the papa bears to start showing up to these meetings. I need the papa bears to be a voice. And I need the papa bears to help us reclaim the West Shore School District and bring back academic excellence because we need your voices. We need your leadership and we need your strength. We cannot allow these agents of Satan to win because they're fighting for the soul of your child and they are corrupting their morals. So, men, it is time to get together and take charge and make the call to charge, okay? And start raising your voices in battle, okay? And saying enough is enough. This cannot continue. And we need to bring not only academic excellence, but morality back into the West Shore School District. The decision is yours, man. All I can do tonight is remind you, okay, that God has called you. Yes, God has called you to provide. God has called you to love your family. But God has called you to protect, especially your child, their relationship with God, their love for God, their mental health, their spiritual health. You are called to protect it in the name of Jesus. So are we going to be men or are we going to be mice? God bless you.
Oh, I'm trapped again, and fate as always has me wrapped again. I always get caught in my life of sin, but I just keep on going back again. You know I'm lost again, when all I wanted was to find a friend, someone that I can always depend on to help me find my life again.